trust in me. Give me everything. I need your love tonight. So baby, please don't fight it. Put your trust in me. I'll give you everything. So hold on to me. Never let me go. Right here in your arms is where I want to be. Close your eyes, only got one night. Just put your trust in me. Give me everything. I need your love tonight. So baby, please don't fight it. Put your trust in me. I'll give you everything. So hold on to me. Never let me go. Right here in your arms is where I want to be.
There's a distance between us. It's getting hard to reach out. Haven't seen you in seasons, but all I hear is your voice. I know my limits. You can break me down, but I'll stay till the finish line. And I've been counting minutes for quite some time now, just to see you again. And I've been counting days to get away, to see you again, see you again. Been finding ways to get away, to see you again, see you again.
What is up, y'all? Hi. Hello, hello, hello. My name is Miss Shu Mai, and I am honored to have be a guest on Qweerty Gamers stream today. It is honestly my Twitch debut. I've done many a Zoom party, I've done many an IG live parties and a bunch of video performances, but I've never actually streamed on Twitch before, so thank you so much for having me. Today we're going to be doing a little makeup tutorial, so I'll show you how I do this mug. If you just saw my face in the screen before, you'll learn how to do something potentially similar. So a little bit about me. I am from the Bay Area, now living in Los Angeles, and I am a Taiwanese, Hong Kongese American drag performer. A lot of what I do is using drag as a canvas to explore the intersections of being a queer person living in America, being a queer person who's a child of immigrants and kind of being in between two different cultures. And so a lot of what I use with drag is a canvas to explore that, a canvas to reclaim that, and using drag as a platform to engage my community to be better allies to other similarly marginalized communities. So chia. I'm super excited. Oh my god, yes, we are popping my cherry today. So thank you. The maraschino cherries that are now being shoved up behind my ass are now going to be popped. Yeah. So I do know that there's a fundraiser going on, and so if you see down below, there's a little bar that shows how much money is being raised. If you would like to donate, then I believe there's a giveaway at $500. I'm not 100% sure what the product is, but you might potentially get something. Oh, there we go. Those are the things that would be given away. A HyperX Cloud Alpha headset once we reach $500, which is not that far away. It's just $75 away. All right. So today I'm going to be teaching you how I do my drag beat. About drag, if you've never watched a makeup tutorial before, or have only seen drag queens or drag performers seldomly, drag is not specifically dressing up as a woman or dressing up as a male. Drag is using makeup, wigs, theater, and over-exaggerated gender expression in order to express yourself, in order to tell a story, in order to uplift certain things within your community and things that you're passionate about. And so drag is for every single person, whether you are a cis person, whether you're a gay person, whether you're a trans person, whether you're non-binary, whether you're gender fluid, whether you're figuring it out. Drag is for you. Drag is for literally anyone. So feel free to grab any makeup you have, follow along. If you don't have anything, take notes, watch along, grab a snack, grab a drink, grab whatever imbibement you would like, and just watch me act a fool as I put things on my face. Yeah. So, we're going to go ahead and get started with the tutorial. I'll be periodically checking the chat just so in case you have any other questions. And yeah, so feel free to let me know if you have any questions, and I'll try and answer them throughout the stream. Yay! Okay, so to start off, I'm just gonna put a wig cap on. I have this like netted cap. I don't know if you can really see, but it's like, it makes me feel like a lunch lady. And so I really like that. And also because it's netted, it allows bobby pins to stick through a little bit more. So that way wigs have a higher probability of staying on my head. So we're doing this just to pull the hair away from our face. And now I'm here to serve you your sloppy joes, or the square shaped pizzas, if you remember those. With a side of refried beans or something like that. American lunches, gotta love it. So, now we're working with a blank canvas. I know some of you may be thinking, drag queens, it is a requirement for drag performers to block their brows, and I'm here to tell you, it isn't. because I don't normally block my brows. One, because I think it makes me look a lot older in like a not great way when I do it, if I draw like a higher brow. And also time. So I'm going to be using my natural brows today, but if you wanted to glue down and block your brows, you would use like an Elmer's glue stick, a few layers, and some face setting powder. But in the interest of time, we're not doing that today. I've already went ahead and primed my face, so it's always important before you put on foundation to use a primer. I use this one from Smashbox because my foundation is also Smashbox, but use whatever primer you think works. I've heard some great things about NYX. I've heard great things about Milk's Hydro Grip primers. And so yeah, it's very important because not only does it allow your foundation to last longer, allows your makeup to last longer, it also provides a barrier between your skin and the product. So that way you're not directly beating in everything into your face and then clogging up your pores and whatnot. So, I know, Smashbox sponsor us. I'll be shouting out a few other products. There's actually a product I'm going to be using later today that is my first makeup collab. So yeah, but I'll be announcing that later. So now that my skin is primed, I'm actually going to go in with some color correction. So since I am someone who is assigned male at birth, I do have a bit of facial hair. Not enough to make a statement, so I'm not going to be a bearded queen. Just like a little bit to make it look like I am going through puberty. So I'm going to go ahead and take an orange concealer. And I'm going to apply that directly on where I see shadows. If you see me looking this way, I have a mirror down here so I can get a closer look at my face. I see a little bit of dark shadows right here, right here, right here, and then right here. So this is where facial hair tends to be. And then I'm going to go ahead and take a tiny sponge like this and then blend that into your skin. You don't need a lot of orange. I tend to see a lot of like influencers and stuff or makeup gurus and stuff on the internet put like a lot of color corrector. You really don't need that much. You want it to blend into your skin. So I'm just blending that in. Orange cancels out blue tones, so basically anything like on the darker end. So you could also use it if you have really dark circles on your under eyes. If you have any like other types of pigmentation on your skin where it's like dark spots, you can use this on that too. I know some people will use this on when they block their brows, like they'll glue down their brows and then put orange over it. You can also use that too. That usually is like, I usually don't need that, but yeah, you can also do that. Just make sure that we are setting everything with powder under. And next, going to use a green color corrector, because green cancels out red tones, and I have very sensitive skin. I break out a lot, specifically around my like mouth area. So I'm going to take this and put some on the inner corners of my little nasal folds right here. We've had some acne down here from my my severely unstable sleep schedule. So we're just going to beat that in as well. Yeah, you can definitely use orange for any type of like dark shadows. This goes under your foundation. Under your foundation. I also use products from Ben Nye. You'll see in a little bit, but yeah, I heard good things about their setting spray, which I think I'm going to add to my kit next. So as you can see, it's blended in to my skin. Next, pro tip, if you have like a really oily T-zone, I have super combo skin. So like here is like the Sahara Desert. It is the Gobi Desert. It is Death Valley. It is sandpaper sometimes. Yet over here, it's fracking. It's oil. It is the big oil industry. So it's the two extremes put together. And so I always have to make sure to go light on powders on my cheeks and then really manage here for making sure my makeup stays. My nose tends to produce the most oil. And so what I found that helps me is I take an eye primer. So this is from MAC. It is their paint pot. And so I just take a tiny bit on my finger and then I dab that onto my nose. And this actually is going to help your foundation just like stay a little bit better. You don't want to use a lot of this, and I'm just tapping that ever so slightly into my skin just to create like a tiny bit of a fill and tiny bit of a sticky barrier so that my foundation doesn't move around too much. So once that is on, I'm going to actually set everything with some powder. Taking a little makeup sponge like this. This is from Real Techniques. Their drugstore brand, very great. And I'm going to take that, set it with some setting spray using Max Prep and Prime. Just getting that a little bit damp so that helps pick up some product. I'm going to take Ben Nye's translucent powder. I'm just putting that down on my table. I have a little paper towel down here. Picking some of that up with the damp beauty sponge. So it looks like this. And I'm going to take that and set all the products that I just did. And what that does, the wetness, the wopness, if you will, of the beauty sponge is actually going to pick up any excess product. And then the makeup, the setting spray is also going to help beat everything into your skin and help things look a little bit seamless. If you are on the oilier end and you want your makeup to last too, what you can do is take a little bit of that powder and then go all over your face to kind of set your primer as well. And this will help the longevity of your makeup as well. So now that this is all beat into my face, we're going to start going in with foundation. Yes, hashtag the wopness. So I'm going to go ahead and take this larger sponge from Real Techniques as well. I like it because I'm always running late because not only am I a drag queen, I'm also a person of color. And those things combined, I'm always late to everything. So I'm always rushing. This allows me to put on my foundation a lot faster since there's a larger surface area of it. So there's a lot of different ways you can put on foundation depending on the product. Today I'm going to be using Smashbox's foundation. It is their 24-hour Studio Skin Full Coverage Foundation. And it is, I really like the finish of this. You don't need a lot of it. And the only thing is that it is kind of drying. So if you do have oily skin, this is probably a little bit better for you. But for me, I like to apply it with a damp beauty blender. So I just ran this under the sink, squeezed it a few times, squeezed it in a paper towel just to make sure all the excess moisture is off here. And it's just like slightly moist. Yeah. So you can also use a brush. There are other foundations I use that apply well with brushes. I tend to like using flathead, like very dense brushes like this one. I like to use these as opposed to like, say, these flat foundation brushes. These feel like too much like you're like putting on paint and it's not really like blending into your skin. With foundation and makeup, you always want to make sure it goes into your skin and it's not just like a layer on top. That's what's going to help it last a little bit longer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the foundation and squeeze a generous dot onto here, as you can see, and we're going to apply that onto the side of the face. So I'm just doing tapping motions all over, really lightly working that into the skin. And while you may be thinking, wow, Shu Mai, that's not a perfect match. You know what? Sometimes the perfect match doesn't exist for you, or sometimes it is elusive. This is one of the closest I've found because it matches a little bit better with like the rest of my body. So this has been better. I've used foundations before that are much more golden toned, which means that they're more on the yellow side. This is a little bit on the cooler side. So yeah, take time to find out what your undertones are. If you like, if your skin is like on the pinker end, then that vocabulary wise, that's cool toned. If you know your skin is a little bit more on the yellow side, then golden toned. There's a lot of vocab that kind of goes into it. That kind of takes a little bit. Yes, find a foundation that matches your neck. I know what Rihanna does, or Rihanna, I'm sorry. It's actually pronounced Rihanna, y'all. It's not Rihanna, like a lot of us say it is. But what Rihanna does, she goes like this, and like sees if this matches the shoulder, and that's how she finds out if it matches or not. The neck is also a good way to find out if your foundation matches or not. But trust me, I've been through some quite unmatched things. So now it is basically all over my face. I'm going to take a little bit more and build some coverage on areas that I think need a little bit more coverage, and then go into some areas that the sponge didn't get. Notice how I'm doing this into my neck. You don't want to gerrymander your jawline. You always want to make sure whatever this color is, it blends downwards as well, even if it's just a little bit. So I'm going to take a tiny bit more on the sponge. I'm going to go in around like my mouth area because I feel like I want a little bit more coverage there. I've heard good things about Anastasia's products as well. I use their highlight and their brow products, but I've never used their foundation yet. I've also used their contour and stuff before too. Nice. Okay, so just to finish off this foundation, I'm gonna go ahead and take a small floofy brush like this. And I'm gonna just use that, grab a tiny bit of foundation, and squeeze, ooh, yeah. If you can tell, the sponge didn't really get into like the corners of my nose right here, so I'm just gonna use these to make sure that's all covered as well. I'm just using slight stippling motions. To make sure it gets in those little holes right there. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Any leftover, I'm just gonna go a little bit under my designer eye bags. Do a quick check. And we're good. So my foundation is laid. And so I like using liquids just because that's what I've been using. A lot of drag performers will use the Kryolan TV sticks. Those tend to break me out. So I haven't really used them, and they feel super duper cakey on me. So I tend to go towards liquid foundations like this. Yeah, and they still work for blocking brows. You just have to make sure the glue is like super duper dry. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and start highlighting my face. So I'm gonna be using Shape Tape right here. It's a cult favorite concealer. I like it. Any kind of concealer works well. So what I'm gonna use, this is like in a really light shade. I think this might be the lightest shade that they have. And I'm gonna use that to do some highlighting on my face. So bringing areas that I want to emphasize forward. So keeping things towards the center of the face. I'm gonna start with the under eye area. A lot of times you'll see influencers put like this big ass triangle right here. I used to do that, and then I'm like, wait, I can achieve the same effect by using less products. And if I can save money, I'm gonna save money, okay? So we're taking some of that product. I'm actually just gonna put a tiny dot right here in the inner corner. And then for a little bit of a lift in the eye, I'm gonna be putting some right here. Same thing on the other eye. Just on the inner corner, lifting up. And I kind of like to draw that angle from like the outer corner of my lower lid and go up from that and try and match that angle, that canthal tilt, if you will. Also gonna take some of this, go on the underside of my chin, right here, on my nose, just the tip right here, and then very carefully a little bit on the bridge of my nose. I'm just doing little dots to make sure it's like precise and light, and then the center of the forehead. I'm gonna be putting on a wig later. But I'm not going to be gluing it down because that's a whole nother tutorial. So I'm not going to put as much emphasis up here because I got bangs. The bang is going to be blocking a bit of the forehead. So I'm not going to emphasize the forehead way too much. But I will do some of it so you can learn. So I'm taking a smaller beauty blender. So I got 3 of them. Well, I'm a liar. I have 4 of these. So I have one for my color corrector. I have one for my powder, and then one for like wet products, and one for foundation. You could totally get away with using just one. I'm just extra. So we are going to beat this into the skin, just very, very light pressure. You don't want to go too hard and disturb too many of the products. I'm just slowly tapping that into the skin, moving a little bit down and left and right, but never dragging, because you don't want to drag and move a lot of the products around there. Tap, 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 tap in. And while I am beating this in, and I've run out of educational things to talk about at the moment, leave me a note in the comments. Maybe if you have any questions on like, how do you use this color? How do you do this? Feel free to leave some questions in the chat, and I'll be sure to answer them in these little in-between moments where I am just throwing things onto my face. So as you can see, it's now blended into my foundation. I know the ring light washes a lot of this stuff off, so that way, but you still want to make sure it's building dimension. Once I put this contour on, you'll be able to see it a lot better. So I'm just gonna go like this, and then we just down here and very lightly. Going onto the nose, put very light pressure. And lastly, the forehead. I'm gonna add a little bit more onto the forehead and the bridge of the nose because I think it dried down a little bit faster than I wanted it to. So we're gonna just beat those in for some extra coverage. I know some people use a wet beauty blender for blending in their concealer as well. I feel like sometimes that messes up my concealer personally for me, and I don't know if that's just because of the products I'm using, the combination of the products I'm using, but I only use the wet beauty blender for my foundation, and then I use a dry one for this. All right, so she's blended in, and so am I gonna use specific eye primer? Ho ho ho. I will, once we get to eyes, I'll let you know what I use. But honestly, I use concealer as eye primer. I know a lot of makeup artists and are gonna be like, no, don't use that, because it feels greasy or whatever. Honestly, with I've never really had that issue, but I'm also used to being in like heavy makeup all the time. So yeah, but I don't think it feels that heavy personally. And for glitter eye primer, I used to use that. Glitter eye primer is usually best for if you're using like a loose glitter pigment. I tend to not use those just because they're a little bit messier. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to lightly set some of the areas on my face. So I'm gonna be taking a just a fluffy brush like this and taking some of that translucent powder we used earlier. I'm just gonna stipple that onto my neck where I put foundation earlier. I'm gonna now set the areas where I know I'm gonna contour. So the jawline, because I'm gonna be going in with a powder contour. Make sure you get into your ears too. You always want to make sure you foundation your ears as well. I used to use a lot of cream products with contour, but it just like, I've been figuring out things that shave off some time, and this is one of those things that shaved off a lot of time, is actually using a powder thing, because it achieves basically the same effect that I want. So I'm setting the area around my forehead, and then my cheekbones, right under my cheekbones. If you hear noises in the background, that is my dog scratching herself. I'll give her a little cameo later. But if you like corgis, stick around, because I'll show you my dog. Next, nice. So the thing is, like I told you earlier, my nose is really like She's finicky, very, very finicky. And so I tend to set my nose a little bit differently, and I set it in the same way as I set it earlier. So I take some of that, some setting spray back onto the sponge, pick up some powder, and then I'll set that, now that has the concealer and foundation over, I'm going to set that one more time. And this prevents it from budging quite a bit. Great. Now that that's in, you can also do the same thing for like over here as well if you wanted, and everywhere else. I just think it's a little bit faster for me to use a brush. So next, I'm going to be going in with a contour palette. So this is just from NYX. It's not super fancy. I think it was like 20 bucks and I got it from Target. Hey, are you itchy? Can you stop? Thank you. So it is from NYX. It is like 20 bucks, and I've been using this for like almost 3 years. So it's lasted me. One of my pans broke right here, but I really only use the contour colors. But it comes with these highlighter powders as well. So I'm just gonna be dipping into these 3 shades, tapping off some excess. I'm gonna start very lightly blending that into my jawline. When you're blending in powders and you want to have like a nice airbrushed and very soft effect, if you hold it towards the end versus like here, then you'll get a little bit more lighter application with the brush. And I like to use small like circular motions because that helps blend things in. So I'm taking that, I put the most product towards the outside of my jaw and then slowly buffing that towards the center, because this draws a little bit more focus towards the center of the face. And I'm also making sure that it doesn't just go on the jaw right here. It also blends down into the neck. So it's a little bit more natural looking and seamless. If you wanted to go for a more dramatic look, you could definitely, you see my dog? I'll give her a proper hello later. You could also definitely do like a really harsh line. I know that's a very stylistic thing for drag. I tend to like things on the softer end for me personally in terms of my base. So yeah, I used to do like the harsh, very harsh, Trixie-esque contours, but I feel like that didn't really suit my vibe. So yeah, same thing on the other side. Sometimes I like to stipple on the product where I really want the concentration first and then blend it out with soft circular motions. I know. She's always a little bit more active when I'm like talking, like either streaming or like talking on the phone or something like that. I think it's because she knows I'm giving someone else my attention. But she gets the attention all the other time. You all get my attention for now. Nice. I'm going to do the same thing on my cheekbones and then my forehead. So same thing, tapping that over here. And I like to take my contour and start it right above like my ear, like almost towards the temple area. And then blending that towards the mouth. If we have any Pokemon fans in the room, if you want to guess my dog's name, she's named after a Pokemon. Specifically, she is named after a 5 or 6, a Kalos region Pokemon. And I know that is a little bit more oddly specific than if I were to say, oh, her name is Eevee. I didn't want to do something as like typical as that. Oh, yeah, Yamper would have been a good one, except I got her before Yamper was released. So, but it's very funny because my dog also, like, when she has to put on the cone of shame, she actually has, like, a little donut that goes, like, a neck pillow. And she looks like a Yamper in there. So she, like, is, like, in cosplay sometimes. Ding, ding, ding. Her name is Fennekin. Her name is Fennekin because she is a corgi and she has big ears and kind of looks like a fox. So, yeah, her name is Fennekin. Yeah, Ray's a cheater. I'm sure you seen me post about my dog before. Taking a little bit for my forehead, I want to draw a little bit more focus to the center of my face. So I'm going to take this all around here. And again, the great thing about wigs is if you're wearing a bang, you don't have to worry too much about your forehead looking amazing. Nice. I'm going to be taking those same shades and I'm going to be contouring my nose. Taking a smaller angled brush, just like this. It's a little fluffy. Fluffy brushes are better for blending. Fluffy brushes are better for blending. Stiffer brushes are better for impact. Because we love a good stiff impact, a stiff Genshin impact, you know? So, but when we want things soft, we want things fluffy, all right? Taking a little bit of this, I'm going to go along the sides of my nose. And I kind of like to do a little bit of the exclamation point thing where you contour down the sides and then like you leave a little dot in between. Like right on the, you just do a dot of highlight on here. And yeah, I feel like that really emphasizes my nose and snatches it a little bit. So I'm taking that, blending it out. I wish I could play Genshin Impact on anything. Genshin is available on mobile, PC, and PS4. Out of those three, I only have mobile. Because I'm unfortunately, I'm a basic Mac user, unfortunately, as of right now. I used to be a PC girl, but not anymore. And so I don't have a PS4 either. I just have a Switch, and so I've been playing Genshin Impact on my phone, and yeah, my thumbs just, you know, with these nails, it's, you know, it is. I am very clumsy in the game, but it's still fun. Great. So my nose is contoured now. There's a little bit more dimension to my face, but she's still a little bit softer. And so next what I'm going to do is work on my brows. Like I said earlier, we didn't block my brows. So I'm just going to draw on my brows. So I'm using Anastasia's Dip Brow. If you can tell, I'm like almost out, but I've had this for 3 years. So it lasts you. I'm going to start by drawing a line starting from the center of my brow. And then I like to extend it out quite a bit, and then we'll clean it up later. Taking that, and to draw the top line, I actually start a third of the way in, so that way it's a little bit more on the softer end. So going here, following that, I like to do a tiny bit of an arch up here, and then meet it where it's at. Brows tend to take quite a bit of time for me because I was born in the month of September, meaning I'm a Virgo. And perfectionism is just, you know, one of those things that is a character flaw of mine. Like a lot of times I'll be like, it is 20 minutes later and I am trying to mess with this 1 degree of a difference between the two brows. Your brows should be cousins. They should be maybe even fraternal twins, but you know, symmetry is but a social construct. So I'm taking a little bit more of that product and blending everything in from the top and the bottom and the verse into it. And then I'm taking what's left over on that brush, blending that towards the center. And that's my brow. I'm going to go in to the other side. Again, one line towards the bottom. And I honestly, TBT when we could like go into places and get services done, but I used to get my brows threaded a lot, and I honestly miss it because I usually get them threaded just a little bit higher, so that way I can use them for drag. But I just been plucking them. You can totally do that, pluck them if you want to like have a easier brow shape to work with when you're applying makeup. And I think out of drag, I'm like, it doesn't matter to me that much what my brows look like, honestly, because I'm gonna just draw them in anyways. I'm trying to like pull a look, so getting in a little bit of an arch there and blending in with some more products, extending it out. And it's okay if it's a little messy because we're gonna clean them up. Thank you, Fennekin. He's like, I'm bored. Do my makeup. So now that these brows are on, I'm going to be taking some, oh my god, stream some Switch games. what Switch games would you like to see me stream? I don't know who plays Animal Crossing anymore. I've certainly stopped playing, but that was a good run. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to clean up my brow. And I'm taking some of that concealer and putting quite a bit right under there. I'm not using it to clean up, but I am going to be taking a pointy brush just like this. You could also use like a flat brush like this as well. And I'm going to take that, tap some of that product in, and then start slowly carving out that brow. So making sure that line under the brow is nice and clean. I like to try and just follow the beginning, follow an angle, and then just go like kind of straight up and out. And what this does, it lifts the brow a little bit too. I'm gonna take a little bit of product on my brow bone, go out like this. And that's kind of the brow shape I want. Pulling that out. And then all this leftover product, I'm actually going to take a sponge and then beat that into my eyes. And then this is what I use as my eye primer. It has a slightly just tacky texture that allows all my products to stay very pigmented on there. Yeah. And so I'm going to do the same thing with the other eye. Placing a bit of product on here. You don't want to add too much product to the point where it's like super duper whoppy on your face, but enough to cover things up. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go again up and out. I'm gonna take a little bit more and carve that a little bit out more. There we go. So I'm going to take my sponge again. Blending that, and this is my eye primer. Great. And so just super duper quickly, I'm going to clean up the top of my brows as well, taking a little bit of that product onto my pointy brush. And what I like to do is I'll start on like the inner third, just as I did earlier when applying it, and then clean up the top and then slowly blend that in. I'm holding my breath right now, FYI, because precision. Okay. And this is when my armpits start to sweat because precision. And so I'm going to take my sponge again, start blending that into all the other makeup, so it's not a super duper harsh line. Taking my brow, since this did go, take some of that away. Just reinforce some of that, reinforce and extend that a little bit, and bam, there's a brow. I'm going to super quickly do the other side. Since we are wearing bangs, I'm not going to worry too much about the shape since the top of the brows are going to be covered anyways. So, bam. I'm off the brow and watch as I blend in. I'm gonna beat this face. Great. And so I kind of sometimes like to blend some of the concealer into the center of the brow just to give me a tiny bit of an ombre effect. And here we go. Here's some brows. So what I'm going to do next is baking the face. And so baking meaning I'm applying powder into strategic areas of my face to set the makeup as well as bring some highlight and smoothness and pigmentation. I don't bake for that long because my skin, like I said earlier, it is the Mojave dessert. So I'm going to show you where I apply the products and then where I brush it away. So I'm going to be taking 2 different powders from Ben Nye. They are the Super White and Translucent Pink. Because my skin is a little bit more on the cool tone and pink toned, I like to put these powders together, and I feel like that gives me a nice finish for my highlighted areas. So I'm just taking that, putting them on my table, which has a paper towel on it for easy cleanup. And then I take a powder puff like this. As you can tell, I've been using this for a while. Taking that, and I kind of like to just swirl around the powders, making sure the colors are combined. And then I'm going to be setting all around the mouth area, drawing a line under my contour, and this kind of gives the illusion of like a higher cheekbone once I add a highlighter color under. I used to do concealer and cut that under, so it's like a harsher line, because drag, you know, but I feel like a softer effect is a little bit, fits me a little bit better, and I can achieve the same thing using powder, which is a little bit faster too. I'm going to be going forehead, on the bridge of the nose, the tip of the nose, and then under the eyes too. So here we go. Working that into the skin, taking it, and I like to line it up right with like my ear, and then draw a line towards the center of the mouth, like that. On the other side, so you can see a little better, right above the ear, and then drawing a line towards the corners of the mouth. Take a look in the mirror to make sure they're like even-ish. I like to blend it a little bit here. A little bit on the forehead, the bridge of the nose, the tip of the nose, and then under the eyes. So this is another one that's a little bit important, because this is actually going to help you catch some fallout when you're doing your eyeshadows and stuff like that. And then what I like to do is I take some of the powder, follow, kind of like how we did the highlight earlier, we followed a line up. I like to take the powder and draw a line up and like towards the corner of the tip of my brow. And so that powder is actually going to give me a kind of guideline to how I want my my eyeshadow shape. So if you can see, kind of like under the eye, and then upwards angle right there. So look a little bit wild right now, but we're gonna soften everything up. I colored in the lines sometimes, but did I always use the colors they told me to? I didn't always use the colors they told me to. Taking a fluffy brush, and I'm gonna dust away the product around my mouth and under the cheekbones. I've already beat them in, so it gives me just that tiny amount of pigmentation under there. If we left it there for a lot longer, then it would have left a little bit some harsher lines there, and so we want to make sure it's still nice and soft, and it gives me just that extra little lift. Nice. So I'm just taking a little bit, tapping off the harsh edges of the powders, and I'll go in later. But there still is a layer of powder under my eyes, and we can start working on the eyes. And so we're going to do a little quicker of an eye today, just in the interest of time. Taking a little dense packing brush here, and I'm actually going to highlight my brow bones first. I'm going to be taking a highlighter powder. This one's from Anastasia. It has all these like really fun colors. I'm going to be taking a pink highlighter shade and then tapping that into my under eye area, the under the brow, right up here. And so it gives a little bit of a lifted effect on the brow bone. And I like to take that product and like go right under the brow all the way, just a little bit, because that, I feel like, ensures that any eyeshadow I do like doesn't go directly into my brow. It gives a little bit of a barrier, like a plus 20 defense buff, if you know what I mean. Cool. So next I am going to be taking a brush that looks like this. This is a bullet brush. I get a lot of my brushes from Morphe. They are pretty good and pretty affordable, TBH, and so I like to get a lot of their products for brushes. And I'm taking a bullet brush like this. It's good for both blending as well as packing in products. I'm going to be taking a blue eyeshadow. This is from Sugar Pill in the shade Velocity. And I'm going to be packing that on the outer corner right here. So I just stamp that on, and then I'll kind of follow the line I made with my with the powder and the bake. I follow that line because that gives me my eye shape. I take it up ever so slightly. I'm gonna drag that up ever so slightly so it's almost like a wing. And then blend that in. Nice. I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to go on the inner corners. And so for my typical eye shape, I like to do like kind of like a smoky wing out here, and then I'll do like a little one crease over here. I don't like to do the entire thing anymore just because it takes a lot of time, but I can do it. So we're going to cut like a half crease, if you will. So I'm going to take that blue. I'm going to just do a light line on starting from like the inner corner right here. Inner corner of my crease area where my kind of like where my orbital fold is, if I think that's what it's called, like that bone above your eye. And I draw a line just like that. Same thing on the other side. And I'm using a very light application right here just because I don't want it to be way too harsh, because since we do have a primer on the eye, if I stamp on a lot of product, then it's gonna stay. It'll be really hard to take it away. So if you're scared, always start slow. Always start light and slow, and you can always build, but it'll be harder to take away. Like cutting hair. Great. So from there, I'm going to be taking a fluffy blending brush. Which one I want to use? I'll use this one. I'm going to be taking a fluffy blending brush just like this. And I'm going to be taking, this is the BH Cosmetics Back to Brazil palette. I'm going to be taking a light blue shade. And I'm going to be using that to blend out all these shadows. So again, when we're blending, holding at the tip and using small circular motions. And when we are blending, I always like to use, I put down my darkest shades first, and then I use the lighter shades to blend it out, because I feel like it looks a little bit more seamless and draws more focus towards the center of your eyes. You can always feel free to play around with colors. I love colors, and blue is my favorite color, so we're using blue again. And I say again because I've been in drag a few times this week and I've only been doing blue, so here we are. As you can see, it's a pretty solid blend with minimal effort. I'm gonna do the same thing on this inner corner. Again, really light circular motions. I'm gonna take whatever's left over and try and connect it ever so slightly. Same thing on the other side, blending in. Really going right over that harsh edge of that blue and doing circular motions. And then taking that up, following that line we made with the powder. Connecting that a little bit, blending down. Nice. Now we're going to cut the crease really quick, taking a flat concealer brush like this and some concealer. Take that, and I like to go towards the center of my eye right here. Just do like a little tap right here. Some people say that you can just put some of the concealer on the eye, open your eye like this, and then that'll tell you where to go. But I have pretty hooded eyes and it doesn't do much for me. Like, it's still, you can't really see the crease anyway, so I like to do it quite a bit above, because then once I have my lashes on, it'll actually like look good and you can actually see the cut crease. So I like to start mine like right about here. And I will take that and draw a crease downwards. This is going to give the illusion of a bigger eye. And I like to take that and kind of like wing it out ever so slightly. Blending that in so this acts as a different primer. Doing the same thing on the other side. This is another one of those times where I hold my breath. Yeah. Honestly, if you want more colors and you don't want to spend a lot of money, this is like less than 20 bucks. And it has so many colors and it's pretty pigmented. So I would highly recommend this palette. I use it quite a bit for colors. Yeah. It is the BH Cosmetics Back to Brazil palette. Winging that out. There we go. Yes. It's the Take Me Back to Brazil palette. It is honestly quite a good palette for if you're doing really colorful looks. So as you can see, I cut that crease. So it's a nice clean line, and see how it kind of makes my eyes a little bit bigger. I'm going to set that area I just cut with a, where's that brush? Taking a flat brush like this. And I'm going to be going in with one of these pink shades right here. And take that. And in order to make the most emphasis, I'm going to spray it with some setting spray. And then take that and pack that onto the center of my lid. Just the center. And then blending that down into the corner. It's a nice light pink right there. That I'm going to go over with a liquid glitter in just a bit. So putting setting spray on your brush does, it allows you to, you can do this before or after you put on the powder onto your brush too, but it just makes the pigment stand out a little bit more. I'm going to be taking on my dense brush that we used for the highlight before, I'm going to be taking that same pink highlight we used earlier and then putting that on the inner corner. And this just gives me a tiny bit more dimension, and it's a little bit more subtle. Taking my fluffy blending brush, once again, I'm going to take that blue and then just blend in that outer corner. Again, soft circular motions, and this just kind of seamlessly puts together that crease that we just drew with the products on the outside. So I like this side a little bit smokier, and then right here is going to be where I want more definition. Same thing on the other side. Nice. I'm going to just go in once more with that blue shade just to make sure it's nice and blended together and the gradients are nice. And then I'm going to unbake my face, taking a fluffy blending brush. I'm going to swipe away the powder we had under and all the other powder on our face. I'm going to take that blue once more, and then we're going to work on our under eye. So I'm just taking that, and I like to put the darkest colors in this outer corner. If you're new to makeup, this may itch, but you'll get used to it. I like to kind of connect that to the wing we made up here. And I just like to keep a nice soft under eye Same thing on the other side. Nice. I'm going to take whatever's left over on here. I'm going to draw a line connecting that and the inner corner of my eye. And connect that to the line above in that crease that we drew. And it should look something like this. I'm gonna take our fluffy blending brush once again in that turquoise shade, that light blue, and then just buff all that out. Eyes are almost done. Lastly, with the eyes, you might be wondering, Shu Mai, are you gonna do eyeliner? I'll be honest. Sometimes I don't even wear eyeliner. I only use a little bit under the like in my waterline to blend in the eyelashes. Today feels like one of those days where I'm just gonna be like, it's just a shadow today. But you could definitely add an eyeliner on it. I'm going to be taking a glitter from Lime Crime. These are actually lip toppers, but I like using them on my eyes too, because screw rules. I'm going to take that, apply that right on the crease that we drew, since it's pink, and this is also pink. Blend that in. Bam. Shine. Same thing on the other side. I like to put that in the inner corner as well. Blend that onto the lid. And then I like to take a little bit and go on the inner corners as well. Right under the eye. And this just gives me that little extra pop. All right, so now that the eyes are basically done, I am gonna go ahead and do my lips super quick, taking a lip liner from NYX. This is in the shade Vintage. It's like between like a purple and a brown a little bit, and I feel like it goes well with a lot. I'm gonna go ahead and make an X for my Cupid's bow, and then trace out my lips after that. So we're making an X right here. I'm going to draw little triangles out here. Looks like a Mario M a little bit. I'm going to take that and draw a line towards the corner of my mouth. Drawing under, and I overline just a little bit because my lips are a little bit full already. So you can definitely overline a little bit longer, play around with these shapes. Your face is your canvas, and you should feel free to play with it and enhance features that you want to enhance, or draw new ones. All right. So for my lips, I like to do a little bit of like a little lift in the corners a little bit, just because my natural lip shape is like that. So what I'm going to do is just take a little bit of the lip liner and angle up outside here. And fill out the outer corners on the other side. And draw a line towards the center to create some more dimension. And then what we're going to do is taking a liquid lip from NYX. This is my favorite nude. It is in the shade Bedtime Flirt. You get this at Target. It's pretty affordable. And this is my go-to nude shade as of right now. I'm going to take a liquid, take it, and just draw on. And I like to kind of blend that into the lip liner we just did as well. Oh no, I messed up. Great, you can see my mistake and we can fix it together. Okay, so as you can see, my lipstick smeared out just a little bit in this outer corner. So I'm going to take some concealer on a pointy brush, and then we're going to fix that. So this is the same brush we used to clean up our brow earlier. Bam. Nice. Now that's better. I'm going to just take a little bit, clean up the other side, just so the shades match a little bit. And then we're going to go ahead and blend that in with our sponge. Try not to blend in the lipstick into that either. I'm gonna take some powder, just set that, brush that away. And now here's my favorite part, is creating some dimension on the lip. And so since we just applied a liquid product down, it's still a little bit wet, right? And so what we're gonna do is take some of this highlighting powder. I'm gonna take a blue highlight, a nice cool tone highlight, just swirl it right onto my finger, as you can see. Tap it towards the center of the lips. It creates a little bit of dimension on your lips. Then, now here is one of the more exciting parts. So I have my first makeup collab that I've done. It is with a queer POC owned glitter company called Slayfire Cosmetics. This is what their logo looks like, and this is their product. I guess this is kind of a cool place to shout this out because it just launched today, and the shade is called Chidori. You heard me correctly. Like Chidori, like from Naruto, yes. And it is a collab I'm doing with them. I created a custom shade, and then they were like, wait, we love this. Can we do this as a collab or sell this as a collab? It is a silver, blue, teal kind of mix. And what's so cool about their products is that these glitters are actually biodegradable. And so they're biodegradable in any marine environment. And so basically when you wash them off, it's guilt-free. Plastic glitters are just made out of a lot of small plastics, which can be pretty harmful. And so while there is no ethical consumption under capitalism, this is one way to be a little bit more ethical. And so yeah, biodegradable products. A pot goes anywhere from like a small pot of $10, and these last you. They're very, very easy to apply. So I'm going to show you how I apply them as both a highlight and a lip. And so, oh, thank you. Thanks for putting the link in. And so I'm going to be taking it on my finger, just tapping that on, as you can see here. And I'm going to be putting that onto my lips. And that's all you need. No need for any glitter primer. You could definitely use one, but no need for one. It sticks on its own. eyelet. And look at that. Yes, yes, yes. Please place an order. I may or may not get a little cut of every single order. So like, please support. Yeah, and it's super duper easy. I'm now going to apply them onto as a highlighter. Taking a little bit more onto my finger, and I'm going to apply that onto the tops of my cheekbones right here. Beep, 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 beep. Most concentration here, and then blending it up. Same thing on the other side. Beep, 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 beep. Most concentration here, then blending up. Taking a little bit on the center of my nose, just the tip. And then a little bit on the bridge, just for some zhuzh. And you know what, just for fun, let's take some, put some under the brow bone. Put some under the brow bone here. Yeah. So, as you can see, that was super easy to apply. It's on. That's it. That's it. And so, what I'm going to do now is, as you can see, it's now super sparkly. We're going to maximum Genshin impact this sparkle. I'm going to take my Fix Plus setting spray. Any setting spray will do. I like MAC. I've heard good things about Ben Nye. I've heard good things about the Urban Decay one. Heard good things about the Morphe one, or NYX too. So any setting spray will do. Setting that face, and I take a handheld fan. This is one of the best investments I've ever gotten myself. This was like $8. I'm gonna use that to start drying down that setting spray. Once it is a little bit dry, but still just a little bit woppy, I'm gonna take that blue highlighter on a fluffy fan brush like this. You could use any kind of fluffy brush, and I'm gonna take that, apply it right over that glitter. And what this does is it blends that glitter into the skin and into the highlight a little bit more. So it's on the more natural end, but then there's like, bam, there's glitter. And I'm pinching it a little bit together because I want a little bit more concentratedness. But if you wanted more of a softer effect, you could definitely hold it from the end. So I'm going to take some of that product on my finger, put it on my nose. And on the bridge of my nose, just the bridge, just this part of your nose brings that part forward and creates a bigger effect. Yeah, great. Glitters don't tend to show up that well on cameras, FYI, but the sparkle is there. Okay, so last step, we are almost there, is lashes. So these are my favorite lashes. They are from Qweerty Cosmetics. It is a black and trans owned makeup brand. These are double stacked in the style velvet. And so these are the lashes I wear every time. I swear by them. I don't wear any other lashes typically. And yeah, they very affordable. I believe there's a sale going on right now too. So if you look up Qweerty Cosmetics, that's bat like in Super Smash, Ness has a bat, and then me like yourself. Yeah, they have a lot of cool products. They just announced some new lip products that are on there. I have some of their lips. It's pretty cool. They have face powders, eyeshadow palettes, and you'd be supporting a black trans business, and you know, that's good. It's one of the only black trans owned. No, I think it's the only black trans owned makeup brand, I think, or at least the first. So support them. I am actually going to be taking some, this is not eyelash glue. I can't tell you that this is 100% safe for your body, but this is what I do. And this is what a lot of drag queens do, because this is a little bit stronger than regular eyelash glue, but it's weave bonding glue. Yeah. So I'm going to take the end of a brush and my lash. I'm going to be taking some of the glue and then just applying that to the lash band. A nice, generous layer. I'm very particular about my lashes, so once I find what works for me, I tend to stick with it. And so this has worked for me. It's It's gotten me through some Los Angeles summer club nights. So, yeah. So while we're waiting for that to dry, I am going to go ahead and... Oh, I forgot my mascara. Be right back. I'm going to be taking an eyelash curler. Curling my lashes. Not doing anything really fancy, just getting them right up in there, and if it hurts, then fine. I mean, like, don't hurt yourselves. Like, I cannot endorse that, but, like, you know, sometimes beauty is pain. This might be one of those times. Okay, so lashes are curled just so they blend in and they're not, like, over my eyes. If I'm doing any close-up makeup photos, taking some mascara just to coat them in some black. My eyes are like very, very Asian, and I do not have long eyelashes at all. So they're like barely there. This is just to make sure they blend in with the falsies. Bam, bam, bam. All right. So this is my favorite part. I feel like for me, my look doesn't come together until the lashes are on. Like this is the step for me. So what I'm going to do is this is where this is actually going to come in handy quite a bit. I'm going to be taking that same tip of the brush. I'm going to dip into the glue, and I'm actually going to apply that onto my eye almost like a liner a little bit, just so it has a base for it to stick to. Try your best not to get eyelash glue into your eye. You could definitely do this with just like duo eyelash glue as well, but I just feel like this has worked so much better for me over the years. And so I take this. Both the glue on my eye and the lash are a little bit wet. So what I'm going to do is take this and start drying it until it's tacky, until it is slightly de-woppified. Woppified. Wobbuffet. Wop buffet. Oh no. Oh no, that has some gross... Or not gross, but like that has some really lewd potentials. That's a free drag name for anyone. Wop Buffet. Oh my god, it looks like Wop Buffet! I can't laugh really hard because there's products on my eye right now, but oh my god. Not a Wop Buffet. Someone needs to put that in a wrap. My name's Shu Mai, and I'm here to slay. Come take a come eat a meal at my Wop buffet. Okay. So I'm gonna take the lashes. I like to like look down at my mirror like it is a peasant, and you know, like if we have to do with classism and stuff like that. And then I like to angle these lashes up so that they stay up, so they're not like droopy down. Lining up the inner corner, placing that down, and on the inner corner right here, on the outer corner, I hold it up. And then here, as the glue is drying, I like to take the fan, close my eyes so my eyes don't water too much, and just hold it in place as it dries. This allows me to really set the position of where I want where my lashes to be. Can't believe I just made a Wop Buffet joke. Wop Buffet. Wop Buffet. From the top, make it drop. That's a Wop Buffet. Oh my god, can someone do a remix of that? That'd be funny if you like just mixed in Wobbuffet into Wop. I like to hold it up and like go from the top too. Go from the top, make it drop. That's a Wop buffet. And bam. There's the eye. See how like it like comes together like that? Like this is really where the steel cut oats will be felt. I'm gonna repeat the same process in the other eye, applying it lightly like a liner. Just dotting that glue onto as close as I can without getting it on inside my eye. Again, I cannot endorse that this is good for you, but it works. So use with precaution. Drying that down. Same thing. And I know some people use like tweezers and stuff. I've never been able to use them. I just use my hands. I feel like it's a little bit more accurate for me personally. This is another one of those parts that are a little bit stressful. We are almost done. Drying that down. And then the last and final touch is taking a liquid liner. And I like to just lift my lashes a little bit and fill in that waterline just so it looks a little more seamless. It looks like you know what you're doing. And oh no, there's I love how someone clipped that. Thank you so much. If you appreciated that, please consider donating and supporting Qweerty. Yeah, so once your lashes are on, they're on. If you need to adjust them, you can take a little bit of glue and on a lash or on like a small brush, place it under, and then use like a fan to dry it back up. That's what I usually do when I want to adjust them, but I'm pretty satisfied with them as of right now. I'm gonna take one more set of the face. Just dry that down. And then we'll just throw on a wig. As I said before, today's wig has a bang, so I don't have to do anything. If you would like to see a more in-depth tutorial, once again, on how to do wigs and stuff like that, I'd love to come back. So, like, let Qweerty know. Just throwing on a wig with a bang. This looks a mess right now, but we're just going to brush it out and it'll look fine. Brushing that out. What fan is that? It is it's from Amazon. It is just one of those electric handheld battery powered fans that's rechargeable. So, and bum ba da bum. Okay, third button. Fourth button. Forgot I did so many buttons on this. Bam. So, here's the finished look. And yes, I did do a reveal for you, you know. So, here's the final look. Let me just get a little bit closer for you. So here's a finished look. As you can tell, she's a soft base with a dramatic eye, but still soft and sexy. Yeah! Yay! So yeah, now if you were able to follow along with this, I hope you were able to learn some makeup tips that you can apply. Remember that drag is anything you want it to be. Drag is for every single person, regardless of your expression, your sexuality, your identity. It is for you. And please play around with this. If you want to do an inspired look from things you learned today, post a pic, tag me, I'll repost it. And yeah, if you want to purchase one of these glitters, again, this shine right here can be yours for just $10 plus shipping. Whoops. There we go. The hair's on this side. Okay. It can be yours for $10 plus shipping in Shu Mai's shade Chidori on Slayfire Cosmetics. If you like these lashes, they are from Batme Cosmetics. I'm going to type in the chat their Instagram so you can see their products. They're really, really dope. And yeah, these are in the shade, these are in Velvet. If you want to purchase any, I have a discount code. You can use Shu Mai at checkout. It'll give you a little bit of % off if you buy some products, and I think they have a sale going on right now. So yeah, please check them out. Wow, I feel like, you know, I'm like really like not really an influencer, but like, you know, like when I shout these things out, I just feel very like like, comment, and subscribe down below, very that, you know. So yeah, just feeling my fantasy oats with these collabs. So yeah, I do have a discount code for these for Batme's website, so please check them out. Support Black trans-owned businesses, support QPOC businesses like Slayfire Cosmetics that are very eco-friendly as well. And yeah, thank you so much for tuning in and watching me act a fool doing these looks. Thanks for joining me in on my WAP buffet. If there's anything else you want to see more of, send me a message, send Qweerty a message, and yeah. Oh, I promised to show you my dog. Fennekin, come here. Get your cute little behind over here. Here she is. This is Fennekin. Hello. So thank you all so much for tuning into our stream, and yeah, please consider donating to Qweerty as well if you're able to. You might get to win a headset, which is like pretty cool. So yeah, Fennekin like the Pokemon. Yes. Thank you so much. Woo, WAP buffet. So now that this look is finished, I'm probably gonna go film some TikToks. Follow me on TikTok. It's at Miss Shu Mai as well. A bunch of my followers are like a bunch of K-pop stans, and I do a lot of K-pop cover content on there. So if you like K-pop, just you know, come through. Yay! All right. Well, thank you all so much for tuning in. I'll give you one last look. I know I am such a once. There was quite a few references that Qweerty's accounts made for me from being a once. I'm a once, Midzy, Blink. Yeah. So here, one more close up on this look. If you have any questions, I don't have like a specific product list of like all the things that I used today. But if you want to, if you want to know a little bit more about any of the products I use, just feel free to message me. I'm available. If you have any makeup questions, I'm available. I love being able to spread the art and the gospel of drag, and you know, hopefully that for me, drag has been a great empowering and healing way to get in touch with femininity, get in touch with get in touch with my culture in a very queer focused narrative, and reclaiming things that I used to feel like I couldn't take onus of just because of me being queer. And so I hope that's available for every single person, and I hope that you're all able to find that in one shape or form, whether that is through drag, whether that's through makeup, whether that's through cosplay or costumes. And so yeah. Thank you so much to Qweerty Gamers for having me. If you are able to donate and support it all, please do. And yeah, I think that's it. I don't know how to transition out of streams. So yeah, I'm just gonna say thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for tuning in. And yeah. Ray wants to raid someone. I don't know what that means. Is that the same thing as like a raid in Pokemon? Oh no. I feel like okay. So I shaved my armpits for this, y'all. Just in case I was gonna do this. So woo. Woo. Ooh. Oh. Okay. Alright, bye y'all. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Follow me. Message me if you have any questions. I'm gonna end the stream now. Okay, bye.